Okay. All right. Well, welcome to Micro Observatory Monday. Today, we wanted to share some strategies for having students post their image processing work and their questions and show you some different strategies that different youth astronaut educators have used. We also wanted to highlight that for those of you whose young people are connected on social media, that Micro Observatory does have a couple of social media channels that your organization can follow and will follow you, or students can individually follow. And then we just want to be available for question and answers for those of you who are implementing. So we'll do that as well. So one of the really easy ways to be able to manage seeing what your students are doing and kind of being able to comment back and forth with them is to use the forums that are on the Youth Astronet portal. And in this slide, you see an example of our educator, Leslie Powers, who actually just yesterday put an update on the forum for things she wanted her students to do. And she has them working separately using Google Slides, but she posts their kind of assignments on the forum and then asks them to reply back. I'm going to show you an example of that by let's see if how am I going to do that? I'm going to get on the portal. Are you seeing that? Okay, good. Okay. So we'll go to the Youth Astronet Activity Portal, and Leslie has been using the Astrophotography Forum because that's what her kids are doing. And if I go there, you'll see 3 recent posts by Leslie, and her group is the Nebula group. And you'll see that for each of these posts, the first one, 33, she has 33 replies. There was lots of interaction. We'll take a look at that. And this one where she just updated yesterday, there's been 20 replies. I want to note that in this forum, can they as educators see everybody else, or do they only see posts by us and by their group?
They might be able to see but not access. Let me double check that.
Right. So Erica's going to check exactly how this particular forum works. It may be that when you look at it, you would only see discussion threads either that are initiated by us and the project team and within your own group, and you'll all see discussion threads that are initiated by people in the educators group, but you may not be able to see other Youth Astronet groups in this forum. So we'll check on that.
Only the ones in your group.
Only the ones in your group. Okay. All right. But I'll show you Leslie's first post was basically after she just engaged kids in learning how to use the JS9 processing tool. And she said, post your first false color images here. So she initiated a post in the forum, and then all her students can see that and reply back. And in fact, as we go down through, you'll see students all posting their first attempts, which are pretty nice actually, at using JS9. And here a student even started adding images together before learning about it. So students definitely jump right in, and it's a way for you to see what they're doing and for them to share it with each other to kind of be a community of practice. So that's the first forum. Then when Leslie, then the next time she met with students, she showed them how to make the 3-color true color composite images from 3 images that are taken by the telescope through the red, green, and blue filter. And also initiated another thread to have them reply to that. So it's a really easy way of kind of keeping track of the project students do along the way during your implementation. And so you can see a lot of students. This is kind of nice because several students did the Orion Nebula, but they came up with quite different results, depending on exactly how much they might have boosted the red channel versus the blue or the green. And of course, the same choices, professional science imagers make the same choices, sometimes for aesthetic reasons and sometimes to convey some piece of information about the real color of the object you're looking at. So we have lots of nice tree colors. Orion Nebula, and here a student found some of the NASA data at the bottom of the JS9 archive list, and this is that an object called Cass A, or it's in the constellation Cassiopeia, and it has it's an X-ray image with low, medium, and high energy, and this student pulled those out and assigned them red, green, and blue and made a color image. This is exactly as professional NASA space scientists would use those three data files. So that was pretty cool to see that done. And then it looks like some students didn't quite understand the difference between false color and true color, and so that presents an opportunity to provide feedback to students. Speaking of providing feedback, by posting on these forums, the project team gets to see what you and your students are doing, and we love that. So, and it allows us to provide some input as well. So I think it's in this forum where a couple of students posted some interesting images that Erica replied to. Here, a student commented on their own effort, "'Tis very bad, but A for effort." And Erica said, "Absolutely A for effort." And made some recommendations for how to get a little bit better to bring more out from this image. I think a little further down, we have a student, you can see so this was posting images of galaxies, and we have a student who posted this and says, "I love it." And this is an interesting image because it was an image of the Milky Way galaxy. But what students might not realize is that particular request uses the wide field camera. And if the object is on the horizon, as the band of the Milky Way is at this time of year in Arizona, you not only get the sky, but this student actually got the distant mountains right in their image. And even as they processed it, a little bit of buildings near the observatory there in their image. So Erica pointed that out, and Commander 07 in Ravenclaw was excited to hear it. So again, having students use the forums and post their work and ask questions is actually one of the elements we've found through the research correlates with increased student interest in STEM topics. So we definitely encourage you to consider this as a strategy using the forum. I think another educator who did that quite a bit was here, down here you can see there's 56 replies, so lots of students. She issued a moon challenge and RGB grayscale exhibit challenge, and then all the students replied to that. Let's see, another strategy for having students post work, and you can see here that I know a lot of educators use either Google Classroom or Google Slides with students. and use external digital resources to collect student work. So I wanted to show you an example of an educator who created a Google site of her class's work. Whoops, here we are. And I have that in another tab here. We'll take a look at that actual website. So this is a Google site from the Amigos Youth Astronet program. This is a school actually local here in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And and this is an in-class, our educator has two groups, 6A and 6B. And so if we look at the 6A Google Sites pages, she had all the students create their own pages in Google Sites. And you can see these are their Youth Astronet names. And as we go to each one, the students are practicing their own ability to use the tools of Google Sites, but then also posting pictures that they've done through the Youth Astronet program. So they have a moon page, and you can see that. And then up here, still in the navigation bar, they have a sun page. There's two images of the sun. They have a nebula page, and you'll note that this educator has asked them to give a little bit of information about when they took the image. And here, you know, the student notes, not an original picture, it was processed by me, but not taken by me. Whereas this one was taken by the student. So the students are learning to be clear about where they get their data and which objects they've personally processed. And so anyway, using Google Sites is another way. Although I will emphasize that if you decide to use resources outside the Youth Astronet portal like this, we would love for you to post in a forum the link and share that with us, because seeing actual examples of student work is something that also helps us understand the impact we're having and how we might be able to help. So we always enjoy seeing the efforts of your work with students. Erica, I was wondering about one other forum similar that wasn't might not have been in astrophotography, but actually is it Melissa's forum where she showed examples? Yeah, Melissa, you had a good way of sharing student work, and I'm trying to remember where that was. I think it was on the where was that? On the Youth Astronet team? No. Oh, if you remember and want to tell us, but I remember seeing all the students post with their project work where they were trying to design their own telescopes.
Let me think about that. Keep going.
Okay. All right. We'll see if we can find that. And then one other way for students to share their images on the portal with everyone, not just your group, as happens with the forums, but with the entire, excuse me, with the entire Youth Astronet community, is to use a resource that's available in this Enhance and Post Your Image activity. If I click on that, you'll see there's a student image showcase, and that image showcase is available to everyone. So I just want to show you how to use that. When you click on it, you see a series of images. Here's the first couple, and then
Let me see who are those people. Yeah, I have the report here.
there we go. And you can see students have uploaded their images to this image showcase, and I'll show you how to do that. But it also allows other students to enter comments. So if you look at a particular image, you can add a comment, I think. Let's see, use singles. We look at each entry. You can, oh, somebody made a comment. Oh, it was me. I really like this moon image. And students can comment on each other's work, and you can comment on their work. So let's add an entry, and I'll show you how that's done. So you click on Add Entry. And I'm going to give my image a title, Regular Galaxy Me plus NASA. And I'm going to drag and drop. I have a file here. You can drag and drop right into this unit. Here's the image. Drag and drop. There it is. Okay. And then you can give it a little label. Regular Galaxy from Micro Observatory plus. I'll tell you what that means in a minute. And it's a galaxy. There's description. This image was made by using the blend tool to mix a micro observatory image. Oops, how is that? That is a funny thing that's happening. This regular galaxy with a NASA Chandra X-ray image of the same target. Okay, so there's my description. The date the image was actually captured was way back in 2017 in the 4th of November. Okay, save and view. So there's my image showcase, and I'm also showing this irregular galaxy that you can take with Micro Observatory. I use the blend tool and also processed in this Viridis color palette the NASA data for this same irregular galaxy, which I think is M82. And so you can find that at the bottom of the archive file, but it's pretty neat to combine your own Micro Observatory data with NASA data. So those are 3 ways to highlight student work and have them post it within the portal so other people can comment on it. The image showcase is visible to everyone who's a Youth Astronet participant, the thousands of people who are participants. The forums are only visible to your group and to the project team, and we will be happy to comment if kids ask questions or don't understand something about their image. A lot of times they ask a question about it and we can answer them and suggest new observations to take and compare to see what's going on in their images. Okay. Remember, if there's any questions about any of this stuff, be sure to check that out in the chat box. And then the last thing we wanted to talk about today actually was connecting via social media with Micro Observatory. We know that some of you, your organizations, you have social media accounts and you promote the kinds of work you are doing with your students. Some of you have individual students and you may have different policies about whether you want to promote their use of social media or not. But I wanted to point out that Micro Observatory has both a Twitter and a Facebook account that if you or your students want to follow, we post, we're trying to get more regular postings, but we post not overly frequently about activities of Micro Observatory and things that people who use Micro Observatory are doing. So we'd be happy to kind of spread the word about good things that are happening in your programs. On screen right now is a contest that the Micro Observatory project runs. It's not specifically targeted to the Youth Astronet project, but Youth Astronet participants could certainly participate in this contest because they already know how to use our tools. This I think typically Harry, who's on our team but not on this webinar right now, Harry will post a news announcement within the Youth Astronet forum, kind of directing you. If I go back to the activity portal and we go to the news forum, you can see that Harry posted the Me versus NASA contest a couple weeks ago, and he provides a link to find out more and how to submit images to the contest. And that's all submitted outside of the Youth Astronet portal, so it's a separate thing, but it's would be a great to have your students do more with their images. Micro Observatory, here is our Facebook page. We do not have an Instagram account. We're kind of focusing on these two channels at the moment, even though I know most kids probably share their images using their Instagram, which they can do. And so you can see that our last Me versus NASA contest actually had a winner. I think that was on the slide before. Had two winners. We have a you can see we have two categories: most interesting comparison with a NASA image and the best image processing skills exhibited in the work. And so the two top images are their Micro Observatory processed images, and the two bottom are images that they research and find from NASA archives to compare with. And of course, Youth Astronet users may also be able to compare with NASA data that's right in their JS9 portal. So we encourage you to have them do this if they think that's of interest. So the Twitter account is twitter.com/microobs, capital M, capital O, and that's so we're at microobs. And you can see we've posted about our image contests, some youth programs with whom we work. We love to share what they're doing, and we would love to have connections with all of you through social media. Our Facebook account is Facebook/Micro Observatory, and you can like us and invite your friends to like us and share. You can also post your own images to our Facebook page. So, I think those were the main things I wanted to highlight at today's Micro-Observatory Monday. The final thing is to make sure that we're answering your questions and supporting you, because I know you guys are implementing the project right now. So if there's things that you can't remember how to do or need some guidance on, now is the time to ask a direct question, and we'll try and answer that. So I'm going to kind of stop the